They say no one is coming to save you. And I agree. We are responsible for how we show up, how we want to be, how we respond, how we treat others. So yes, no one is coming to save you. And also, so many people have saved me. My husband, my friends, my kids, my parents, my brother, a few good Samaritans who witnessed me getting run over by a car and ran to my rescue. I've given a brief summary about the day that cracked me open. Throughout the many episodes of this podcast, I've talked about it, but I haven't gotten into the exact details until now. August 14th was the 5-year anniversary of the accident, the day that cracked me open and changed my life. And I've invited my number one, my husband, my partner, my guy, to talk about this experience that day and how it's changed us both. Hi, I'm Laura Scarpati, filmmaker and woo-woo enthusiast. Here today to cut through the noise, pull back the veil, and cozy up in the space between reality and spirituality. Thanks for listening to The Woo Report. First, the backstory. So if you've heard this before, fast forward a few minutes because here are all the details of the day. On August 14th, 2020, I was supposed to get my second trimester labs done. I was 18 weeks pregnant and the waiting room was busy and it was COVID. So they asked me to wait outside and it was a perfect summer sunny day in Rochester that instead of waiting in my car, I decided to sit on the grass. And I was sitting crisscross applesauce when this sweet little lady comes to park her car and she mistakes the gas pedal for the brake. And so she comes up this little hill, she hits a couple trees and she runs me over. There's a horrifying security video of this incident taken from McQuaid, which is the high school across the street from where this happened. And in it, it lasts for a millisecond. The car is going so fast, it lasts for a millisecond. But for me, time slowed down. I felt this crushing darkness. My mind was racing and I was fully panicking. At first, I thought, someone is trying to hurt me. And then I realized I was being run over and it felt like an eternity. You've heard this before. My consciousness flew out of my body. I flew out of myself and I saw the scene. I saw myself laying there. I saw a cluster of people standing by a truck over here and people were running to help me. I saw myself ask for help. And then when I went back into my body, there was a woman standing over me. And the panic was gone. I felt calm. I felt stoic. And I asked her very matter-of-factly, am I going to die? Another man had called 911 already and then asked me, because I was conscious, if there was anyone I wanted him to call. And I gave him Matt's number and he called Matt. The ambulance came and it was in there that the pain came fast and furious. And because I was pregnant, they were not able to give me any pain meds. Eventually, I learned that I had a shattered hip socket, a fractured pelvis in 5 places, a broken rib, a fractured elbow, and severe road rash all over my body. But the baby was unharmed. I didn't have a traumatic brain injury, and I would have surgery and I would learn to walk again. Slowly but surely, I would heal and I would bring life into this world. It was unclear how physical I'd be able to be after the surgery, if I'd be able to run again, if I'd be able to do a cartwheel again, if I'd be able to walk in heels, if I'd be able to hold my babies. But there was hope. There was also many dark days. There was physical agony. There was PTSD. I couldn't go to my 2-year-old when he would call out to me in the night. I had disappeared from his life for 3 weeks while I was in the hospital, and I couldn't hold him and I couldn't snuggle him. And I had to allow people to care for me, which was not easy. I was a producer. I fixed and controlled and planned, and I was extremely independent and capable. And that all went out the window when I couldn't walk. I couldn't even bend past 90 degrees. I couldn't dress myself. I couldn't toilet myself at first. And it's a very vulnerable place to be. Reflecting on this moment has been emotional. For me, it was rock bottom in many ways. It was devastating. and painful and full of suffering and anger. And then one day I was lying in bed, as I did during my time in recovery. And I thought, why did this happen to me? Why was this happening to me? I felt like I needed to find a purpose in it. And I started to ask questions to friends. Was this something that was meant for me? Was it written in the stars? It became this tentpole moment that I was determined to make lighter. I would get into these really dark spirals when I was in recovery. And when I think back at them, my energy was so heavy. And I've been in some of these spirals since that moment. Maybe we all have. When our self-worth is just so freaking low, it feels totally hopeless. And it's almost like a black hole. When you are that low, anyone in your periphery can be sucked in. And as I've been studying energy now, and since this accident, I realized how much our energy can affect others. But it goes both ways. So hitting rock bottom is devastating. And there's nothing like this trauma than to force you to grow, to release these old patterns and to build something maybe better. And reframing that trauma into purpose is how I began to heal. By talking about it, by being curious about the miracles that took place that day, by recognizing when my mind becomes turbulent, because it absolutely still does, way more than I'd like. But now I can recognize it. And it's easier to move through these painful, frustrating moments because I have grown and I've learned a lot. And one of the big lessons I learned from the accident was to be able to be a receiver. I think this is hard for a lot of people, to allow yourself to be wrapped up in love by others, to allow yourself to receive love. Why is that so hard for us to do? For me, I had to allow people to take care of me, and so many people showed up. And I have enormous gratitude for every card, every text, every flower sent. And as much as I know I was resilient and strong, and I saw the majority of my recovery with a glass half full, it was my husband, Matt Dorsey, who saved me the most. Matt was steadfast. He was solid. He met me where I was, and he helped me through the darkest moments. What a guy. So in honor of this 5-year anniversary, I invited my number one to get his take on this moment in our shared experience. We shot this late at night when our kids were in bed, and it's totally unhinged, and I lost Matt's camera for the last 5 minutes, so if you're watching this on YouTube, you won't see his sign off, but he's such a cutie, and I hope you enjoy his perspective. And also, thank you. Thank you for being here and for listening. Matt Dorsey.
Laura Scarpati.
Welcome to the Woo Report.
Oh, thanks so much.
Thanks for being here.
What a pleasure.
Our children are asleep upstairs.
As far as we know.
Well, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me on your program. What would you like to discuss?
I'm sweating. This is a bad idea.
It doesn't have to air. This could just be for us.
I asked you to come on because last week was the 5-year anniversary of the car accident that changed my life, our lives. I don't want to speak for you. I'll speak for myself, but
Thank you.
I would like for you to speak for you. And I want to talk about that day for you and what that was like and beyond.
Well, it started like any other day.
Did it start like any other day? We had just moved here from LA.
We had just arrived a few weeks prior. We had just put an offer on a house. So I took Will to the playground and I got a phone call and he said, Matt, this is so-and-so. I don't even remember his name at this point. I should.
Steve Pinsky.
Matt, this is Steve Pinsky. I'm with your wife. She's been in an accident. And then it's like immediately, your heart just stops. It just felt very surreal. It was like the way you've described time, like slowing down when the accident happened. It was like time slowed down in that moment for me. It's just like it wasn't making sense, but I'm also hearing what he's saying, and he's giving me very specific information about how you'd been hit by a car, you were getting loaded into an ambulance, but you were conscious. And the whole time I remember feeling like I'm trying to recognize the voice because I feel like it's somebody messing with me or pranking me. It's like somebody I know is messing with me. And I'm like, obviously this is not real. Like, she didn't get run over by a car. She's at the doctor's office. Who's messing with me right now? And then he put you on the phone. I was like, okay, I hear Laura's voice. And you sounded like uncomfortable, but definitely conscious, which was like a relief. I remember going to the hospital. They were like ready for me in the ER. They like brought me into a separate room. I was alone. And they basically were like, we don't know like the extent of her injuries. But I remember being like, she's not going to die. They were like, so they didn't want to like say anything with any sort of finality. I can't even tell you how long I was in that waiting room.
Well, I did not see you at all. This accident happened at 10 a.m. and I did not see you until 4:30. But it was COVID and you were not allowed to come back to where I was.
Well, they basically were like, we're going to put her in the ICU. She's going to get a room up there and then you can see her. That's wild that you didn't see me till 4:30. Are you sure it was 4:30?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the only reason why I know that is because my hip socket was shattered and they couldn't do surgery because the surgeon said to me, it's 4:30 on a Friday. It's
kind of crazy because if it had happened on a Thursday, would you have been put in surgery Friday morning?
Yes.
Like, would have been
that
way
is
better.
crazy. So much better.
Like,
that weekend interaction was like so
policy
messed up.
is that?
It's
like
the hospital system is broken.
Do surgery on a Saturday.
I know. It's like surgeons have to have the Saturdays off too.
Seems urgent.
Maybe there's like, I know. But it was an emergency. Like, I was going to live, so. Right. But it definitely made my recovery harder because then I sat all weekend.
Yeah.
And then
I couldn't move.
I couldn't move all weekend. Could not move.
Your leg was like raised up.
But I also like my body. I couldn't like hold my phone at first. It was a hot mess in there. Oh, let's talk about the pros. Pros of the accident. You and Will are very bonded post-accident.
You don't think we were pre?
I don't know. I think it definitely got stronger afterwards. I mean, I could not take care of him for months.
Yeah.
I couldn't put him to bed for months. Yeah. I couldn't go upstairs. I couldn't pick him up if he fell in front of me. So I made this video and put it on Instagram.
I saw it.
You saw it? Thanks for sharing it.
It was good.
Thanks. I cried so many times, even today. This past week, I've also cried on and off so many times.
How come?
Well, thinking about the accident, thinking about the person that I was that got hit, crying for her, for like the woman that I was, who like needed this wake-up call, who was so lost.
I never saw you as lost.
You didn't?
No.
I didn't see myself that way either. But what would you say our relationship was like at that time? Pre-accident relationship?
Oh, God. I mean, it was a stressful time. We had just moved across the country in the middle of COVID. But I felt like overall, I mean, other than the fact that, we're living with my parents and have a 2.5-year-old and another baby on the way and looking for a house, I feel like we were okay.
Yeah.
You think we're better now after?
I feel like I was on your case a lot about how you were parenting. Remember that?
Vaguely.
You've been beat down so many times. Hard to recall.
They all sort of blend together. No, I mean, I was, because I had been furloughed. You were working full-time still out of the house. So I was like in charge of Will. We had no other, obviously it's COVID, no daycare. Was shut down. Our nanny, we weren't having her come in, even though we were, I think, paying her at that time, maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure we did for a while.
So I was in charge of him all day, which, I was not really used to at that point. That sort of got thrust into that position. I feel like, I probably wasn't doing a great job at it.
I think also there was probably other things going on. Like you had just gotten furloughed.
Yeah, I mean,
There was some health anxiety around COVID.
we were
There's
like
a lot
cooped
happening.
up. I mean, it was.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably a lot of parents listening that remember like how fucking insane that was.
Yeah.
Trying to parent young children during that time.
Yeah. What do you think our relationship's like now? Is it better? Do you feel like it's better?
I think it just gets better and better. No, I think we're in a great place.
Yeah, I do too. I also think that, and tell me if I'm wrong,
Oh, I will.
post accident me picks less fights, is more flexible.
Couldn't get it out. Is she? Is she more flexible?
How dare you? I am so flexible now.
No, no complaints. Go on. What else? What else you got?
No, I want to know what you noticed. You didn't notice anything. I'm the same.
I mean, it's hard to say. No, you're not the same. We also have completely different lives now
Yes, that's true.
here than we had there. You were always like working and stressed from work.
Yeah.
Before the accident.
Do you feel like this accident changed you?
Yeah, I mean, undoubtedly, it's changed me. I mean, it's certainly...
Let's get into it, Dorsey.
It's certainly made me appreciate my loved ones, and it's just made me appreciate life overall more. I mean, it's like when you come that close to, to death, or to somebody you love comes that close to death. It wasn't like, an immediate like sense of euphoria like right after the accident, because it's like it was super stressful for a long time.
Yeah, dark times.
Right. It's like you came home from the hospital and you were in a lot of pain, and were in a bad headspace there for a minute.
It wasn't great.
We don't have to get into the nitty gritty of that, but it was dark for a while.
It was
a little while.
It was dark. When I was going through all this footage, there was a lot of me like crying on Marco Polo to my friends. And then I know I was crying at you also. And then there were these really sweet moments where another one of the reasons that I cried this week was because you were just there for me. You were just there. You were, oh my God, I'm going to cry again. You were so freaking there. And
Well, of course I was.
I know, but like some guys would get scared away by all of it. It was like a lot of medical stuff.
We weren't dating.
You were wiping my ass. You were taping up the wounds on my back. You were doing all the bandages.
I've blocked all of this out, by the way. All that did happen. You're right. Forgot about that.
You were like stretching out my legs.
That I remember. You had to give yourself shots for a while.
I had to give myself.
I was going to do it, and then you were like,
shots.
no, I'll just do it. You're like, I just did it.
Oh my God.
It was like every night for what, like a couple weeks, maybe?
It was
a few weeks?
the worst. I was so stressed out about that. That was like the worst part.
That was not the worst part. Is that because you were diabetic?
I had gestational diabetes, which was just like, sure, pile it on. Get run over by a car, can't walk, be pregnant,
It's like,
get gestational
this
diabetes.
is truly like, I've forgotten about a lot of this. I do remember caring for your wounds for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was, I mean.
You did that for a while.
I felt bad, I wasn't grossed out by that. Oh, you want to talk about the woo? What are you going to ask me what happens when people die? What are you going to ask me?
I'll just briefly ask you what you think about spirituality and where you stand on the woo.
I'm open to it. I don't necessarily seek it out other than, listening to the Woo Report every week.
Do you listen?
I like and subscribe. I do listen. But I'm generally kind of open to all kinds of possibilities. I kind of approach life as how would I know? Who am I to say, no, that's not possible? If you're telling me that souls leave their bodies and go on and still exist somewhere and then maybe come back again. Like, I think that's totally possible. I don't know for sure.
None of us do. I'd say I'm 95% sure.
That's great. I would say
There's room for error.
I'm 55 to 60% sure.
I could move down to maybe a 75.
You could stay at 95. That's a great place to be.
Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, yes. And other times I'm like, what the fuck am I talking about? Rachel texted me earlier that she had watched the video 4 times, and she said, very unlike her, she did not have the words right now. She did not have any words. And I said something about loving her through so many lifetimes, and she said, what's your guide's name? The crazy name one. And I was like, oh, Panjme. She was like, can you ask him how many? So I asked him, and he said a lot. So I texted her.
When did you ask him?
What do you mean? I'm talking to them all the time.
You just internally in your head asked him?
Yeah, I just asked him.
How long does it take for him to respond?
It's seconds, moments. That's just how it works.
And what does it sound like?
It like sounds like me, but it's like, but I know it's him. I can like see him talking to me.
You're in tune.
And I was like, I'm so out of the closet right now. I'm just like.
Do I need to start talking to my guides?
I mean, why not? You got nothing to lose.
Get some answers finally.
All right, let's put this to bed. We'll come back on and we'll talk more about the woo.
Will I? Thanks again for having me on your program. I wonder how long this episode is. It feels like it went like 30.
It's going to be shorter.
That's great.
I'm going to cut it
I think the
down.
listeners are looking for shorter episodes. Are we done?
Are you grateful I'm alive?
I'm very grateful. I love you.
I love you too.
Go Bills.
Whew. Thank you for listening. How cute is Matt Dorsey? Isn't he so sweet? We love him. I so appreciate you being here. This podcast has allowed me to heal even further from this near-death experience. It has allowed me to connect with people who have expanded me in so many ways, and I am so, so grateful. Thank you for all your DMs and emails and texts. It has just meant the world to me to connect with you all about something that has changed my life and is so meaningful. And I really appreciate you being with me on this journey. If you haven't already, you can join the community at thewooreportpodcast.com. And please follow on Apple Podcasts and Spotify or wherever you love to listen. And subscribe on YouTube. You can watch all of it there too. Thank you. Until next week. Bye.